All right, perfect. We are live. The first, well, not the first attempt, but the first professional attempt
Yeah.
at recording a podcast episode.
Yeah. My name is Ian, the co-host, and I'll let the host introduce himself.
I'm Andy. I'm the host of this podcast that we created, and we are the 383 Pod. And you may be wondering why that's a bit random name. Well, we are runners at a school in Salisbury, Catawba, and Catawba College, um, and we run track. So naturally, we have to have a track to run on at school. Unfortunately, it's not a normal 400-meter track as you would guess, but it's a 383-meter track, and I think we had come up with that name as kind of a testament to what we wanted to get out of the podcast in a funny sense, just display the weirdness of the this little environment we live in, and wanted to display that.
Yeah. Yeah, you couldn't have said it better. Honestly, like the quirkiness of 383, not even a full-size track, kind of perfectly describes our team in a way. And if you don't get that now, I'm sure you'll get it in the episodes later and understand
Yeah,
it
a lot more will be displayed other than this intro episode,
Yeah.
because that's mainly what this is. And yeah, I think weekly or bi-weekly episodes are definitely on the plan for what we want to do, and but the main reason is why we wanted to start this. Because you don't just wake up one day and ask, oh, I'm gonna go record a podcast and sound like a ding dong. But I'd say personally, for why I wanted to start this podcast is to capture, I guess, more of a fuller picture of this era we're in right now. Because I have a lot of memories of pictures and videos from the past 2 years I've been here, and for reference, I'm a junior. But nothing. It's all really anecdotal when you look at pictures and videos. You have to explain it, and I think what I wanted to do was give a better sense of this story and this, I guess, kind of era that we're in right now, rather than have to rely on memory, which can be spotty. So having the recording and having video and audio and telling these stories and shooting the shit basically with a bunch of guys that I'm really close with right now, rather than having to rely on talking about it past tense later, is something that I want to get off the ground and have done rather than not have done.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a great idea, and it's something we'll be able to look back on, and hopefully it even continues after you're gone, Andy. And not in a kind of depressing way, but kind of
No, yeah,
a
that's
legacy
a
kind
natural
of
way.
way.
I think if it can continue in some kind of way after I go, then what I've done here is more than I had originally thought. So I think it'd be really cool to have that continue on, and well, not to say, yeah, like you said, not to sound depressing, but mainly just focus on getting to that point, rather than not having any kind of video to show us getting to that point, is mainly why we're doing this.
Exactly, yeah. And just for reference, I am a freshman, but I heard the idea from Andy, and I thought it was a great one, just to showcase the mentality of our group, the personalities we have on there. And, I mean, the whole thing about this experience is, it's so cool, and it goes by so fast. I mean, Andy can tell you that right now. But to get, like, a capture of that in the moment without it being a photo you have to explain, but, like, actually something you can reference back to and just laugh at later on, or for other people to enjoy themselves, too, would be kind of just something we wanted to do.
Yeah, there's a lot that can get lost in the mix of I guess life or living, especially in college. So, some stuff may not always be talked about or shown and lost to the cracks of time, or lost between the cracks of time. And I think as much as I would like to pick up as much stuff as I can to display that, and that would be what I'd like to do with continuing this and keeping it going from episode to episode, and just displaying those stories, and having stuff to discuss and talk about that maybe would be lost to detail in the future.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not going to be, from what you said, just clarify for everyone else, it's not just a running podcast in itself.
Yeah, no.
It's just to kind of share experiences as we go through college and life, and even sometimes, like you said, just shoot the shit.
Yeah, I think running is obviously a large part of what I was thinking it would be, because it's a big shaping point in our lives right now because we're running for a school. But obviously, it's not going to be strictly running in the sense that the people that our friends that we talk to, our teammates that we bring on, our discussions that we have outside of that is just not going to be entirely, run this, run that, just to show personalities on display and get experiences that you could talk about outside of running, and maybe do some stuff like, I don't know, game stream.
Yeah.
That's some future idea for what we want to do, but you got to start somewhere in a sense, and I think this is what I want to do with this episode and get that off the ground, so we have a launch pad to send up future rocket ships of episodes, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. And we already have some ideas for the next episodes we want to do, and we're kind of full of ideas right now. Do we want to share some of them, or keep them down low?
I think we'll get into that in a bit. I think I want to keep emphasizing that it's about to give the main idea of what we plan on doing before getting into the topics, because I think not just as an intro, but as an intro episode, not just as like an intro to the podcast of an episode. You just want to I want to give a better sense of what this can be and what this will be to people who listen in, or to what I want to show as we move forward from this episode.
Yeah.
Which will mainly be, if I had 3 points to give, documenting the day in the life or the week in the life, showing the stories, personalities, experiences of people, our friends in our group, and as establishing a timeline, essentially, from that. I think that's what I'd like to do.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like most of our lives are just a story, and we kind of want to share that with people around us, too. Mm-hmm. And even ourselves, so we can look back onto it. I know it's repetitive of us saying that, but it's honestly true.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that is the point I want to hammer in, as much as repetitive as it sounds, is that this is going to be a time capsule in a sense from this is going to be a time capsule and not something that we want to, let pass without telling stories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think that, it'll be rough. I mean, we're obviously repeating some stuff or whatnot, but that's fine, because we're just figuring it out, and I think I'd like to figure it out as we go along, and that would be something I'd like to do.
Yeah, and I'm happy we also have the video as well, so when we do show some upcoming stuff like race footage, we can incorporate that in the video with the podcast as well. Mm-hmm. And then we do plan, I think, showing some of it on Instagram, but also having a main channel. Yeah. And then seeing if we can get it on Spotify. A lot of this is
YouTube. I think YouTube
will be the easiest
Instagram.
For now.
YouTube is definitely going to be the easiest for now.
If we can get on Spotify, we'll try.
Why is Spotify difficult with uploading?
It's like a artist thing. I haven't really looked into it too much, but you have to go through a third-party loophole and then go into it. And some of them you have to pay to get it to upload, and it's kind of a pain.
That's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
I really thought it would be easier. I thought Spotify would be the most easiest to cross.
That's what I thought too, because with Spotify, I don't even know if you could do a video. I know some podcasts have videos, but it should be audio. And just upload the audio.
Yeah, just upload on there.
Um,
Have you looked into? Can't you do upload stuff to Apple as well, or Apple Music?
I've not looked into that one though.
That is a thing,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure how loopholey you have to go
Yeah.
into that.
And to be honest, I could have the Spotify thing all wrong. I looked into it for 10 minutes out of my day yesterday.
Yeah.
So maybe there's an easier way, and I just haven't figured it out yet.
Hopefully there is.
Yeah.
If anyone has suggestions, we are open ears for that.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm about to YouTube it later. Not gonna lie. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for this podcast just to share some stories. I think much of what goes on around here is like, I mean, I go home every time I go home, I feel like I'm telling my parents over a good dinner about what's going on here and some funny stories and some not so funny and more real about like just what's happening here and the background behind it.
Yeah, the best we can do to illustrate the funny stuff and then the real stuff is a balance that I'd like to strike as well.
Yeah.
Because that, I guess this can be a good segue into topics about episodes in the future. Because obviously there's funny stuff about old stories from cross country seasons and other anecdotal stuff like that we can bring into the show, and obviously there's more serious stuff like having talks about injuries and kind of the lows that can come with this sport.
Yeah.
As well.
But when we try to incorporate those lows, I think we'll also have to incorporate the story with it just to get a full understanding.
Yeah, it won't just be the low. It won't just be low after low after low. It's
We're
definitely gonna be the story.
Try to add in there some prevention, and also like if you do get injured and you're not just like, oh shit, what's next, right? You actually like maybe have some advice that we can give you of what we did and what worked for us,
Yeah.
and how to move forward from that. That's something I really liked about this whole show is because with that, I know I personally struggle with my stress fracture quite a bit in my season, and honestly, going out there, I haven't found much support for it. Like, there's not much information you can find from it, and the most I found from was guys on the team. So, not to get too ahead of myself there, but definitely one of the exciting things that I had about the podcast was to kind of be a place of information for other people that are maybe new to the sport or don't have some of the experiences we have. Maybe they could be much older in the sport, but they just recently came upon something and they wanted to learn something. And also, I think you're a pretty funny guy, Andy, so maybe I'll get a good laugh too.
Oh, you're gonna make me blush. Yeah, being able to, there really is like, it's gonna be evidence in the future, but there really are a lot of very, very different personalities that we have, and I think I want to be able to put that on full blast through something like a podcast, which can show to the best of the ability these people and our friends and our teammates that we can basically show them what we're talking about, show them what I want to show them what I want to look back on and see and remember and hear, and not just have to recall in my head what it sounds like and how it was and the situations and all that whatnot.
Yeah. And we also have 15 guys on the team too, so there's a lot.
There's
a lot of stories. So not all at once. There'll be a slow kind of on roll of different stories, different people, and different topics. With that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Andy, do you think we should start off with maybe a fun fact about ourselves? Kind of get us a little bit more.
Yeah, I guess we can do that. That does sound like a good idea. Personality.
Yeah, you got a lot of it. Come on.
I guess about.
What would you say is a fun fact about yourself, and I'll say what I think is a fun fact about you.
A fun fact about myself is that I've lived the same Wednesday twice before.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, we need a little bit more explanation with that.
Well, it mainly has to do with time zones. That's why I say the same Wednesday. But I always like to say a story. So, my dad, he works for the university of my hometown, and he had the opportunity to take us to Hong Kong when he had to go for a research presentation. So when we went, or when we stayed there for a bit, and then that Wednesday we left, it was a Wednesday night, I believe. We flew from Hong Kong to Seattle, Washington, and I believe it was also the same date of the Wednesday that we had left from Hong Kong. So we'd gone back in time, essentially.
Well, they said it was impossible. You did it, Andy.
Yeah. I couldn't predict any of the future events, though. I'm sorry.
Oh, damn. Do I get faster, maybe? Could you predict that?
Faster in what sense?
In running?
Wait, what?
Did you see in the future?
Oh my God! Fucking brain did not comprehending that. Oh man, no, that's a whole story in and of itself. Because also, oh man, that is so funny. That trip also ties into the reason why I never ran cross country my freshman year as well.
Oh.
As a whole, because I was kicked off the team because of going on that trip.
Really?
Which was funny. Which is why I never ran cross country as a freshman.
How long was the trip?
It was a little under 2 weeks, I think. And during that 2 weeks, when I was a freshman and I did summer practice for my high school team, before August. August was a mandatory month, and I couldn't go to the mandatory practice in August because of the trip, and I was kicked off the team because of that, because I couldn't make the mandatory practice.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
God damn.
It was a little rough. Although I've heard stories that kind of conflict from my high school coach and my mom about this, which is kind of funny because they say different stories, and I'm not sure which is the truth.
Yeah.
Because I don't actually have emails or text to verify each of those stories, so it's
Okay, so
a bit.
what were the two different stories?
Story number one from my mother is that she had messaged also. I messaged my high school coach, and she also messaged on my behalf to vouch for me about not being able to make the mandatory practice because of the trip, and he had said, yeah, you can't come on the team if you're going to miss mandatory practice. And the second story from my high school coach, who I got very close with after I actually started running, he told me that he was fine with me missing mandatory. It was my mom that had just not let me go, or had said it was off the table. So I'm not really sure who to believe in that case. It's kind of a rock and a hard place to, not believe
Your mom?
two very influential people in your life without making one bad.
Yeah. All right. Well, just for context for the listeners, where'd you go to high school?
I went to John T. Hoggin High School in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
I went to Charlotte Catholic, so we never actually we never faced each other in a race.
We might have, honestly.
Did you race?
We did Wendy's.
Wendy's?
Wendy's,
That
we
might have
did
been the
Wendy's.
case.
I think I did Wendy's 2018, 2019.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
I was in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2018 was after the hurricane, Florence.
Yeah.
And I had run like 1830 or something like that.
What did I run that year? It might have been the 17 late 17s or maybe the early 30s.
And then 2019 I ran 1703 or something like that.
2019 was the year, it was my freshman year. So 2019 and 2020, that would have been the
Yeah,
year.
that was the year before COVID
Yeah.
kind of killed a lot of the run scene in
Yeah, exactly.
NCHSAA. And for also context, we ran in North Carolina for high schools, which, I guess you would infer by now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we did definitely face each other. And state meets. I'm pretty sure,
Yeah.
If we made state meets, then we were definitely there.
All right. So I said I would give you one fun fact about yourself that I've kind of learned over the past couple of years, and it is, God, if I had to pick one,
Oh, it should be good. There's probably plenty.
there's plenty. This is the hard part. It's hard to choose one. I would say he has some really cool running gear. And you wouldn't expect it. You've never worked in a running store in your life.
Nope.
Yeah. So just for context, I work for a company in Charlotte called Charlotte Running Company, which is a private running store, and so I know a lot of the ins and outs of the shoes and the gear and everything. And Andy is like the only person that I think I've met that knows a lot about it, but he's never worked for something like that too.
No. Yeah.
Like I've met people that have known a lot about it, but it's their job to kind of know. Andy is he just does that shit on his free will.
Yeah, I mean, with all the new tech and stuff, it is fascinating, and
Yeah.
as well as that, I think I got serious about looking into running shoes after I had injury problems with Nike Free Run. So I was like, oh yeah, I probably gotta find better shoes than these.
Yeah.
And then when carbon shoes started coming out, that's really added some fuel to that.
It was just
fire.
like changing technology was crazy at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, they talked about banning shoes and stack
Yeah.
height.
Stack height, span shoes,
Yeah.
a lot of unpredictable
I'll see if I can
stuff.
picture the Nike free runs for them on the screen.
Yeah,
But
free runs.
they are terrible.
Free runs 5.0. I think it was the 5.0.
It's like that thin.
Then EJ would probably kill me for saying that because he's a free run fanatic.
Yeah.
Those
EJ
are really
likes
bad.
some thin shoes though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he's got
definitely
those
does.
Skechers now, right?
Oh, the Razor 3s.
Yeah.
Razor 3s are good now.
They are good. They have a P-Pax foam, right?
But it's nitrogen. Some
Nitrogen.
nitrogen foam.
Did you have better than Brooks did with their glycerins?
I think a lot of people said it was better than the Brooks ones. Or
Yeah.
it's like it, but it was a lot of people said it was better than the ones
Yeah.
that Brooks had. And yeah, I think our Sax Squirtle was displaying some of those, some of that shoe tech as well.
Oh yeah.
Because he will have a shoe rotation every episode we have. I will say that. It will be different. You will be on your toes from what Squirtle will be wearing. And we're not sponsored, but whatever shoes he's wearing, I probably like. So you should probably buy them if I like them. Because
Just for the
pretty
listeners.
good.
What are those shoes?
Those are Velocity Elites by Under Armour. Carbon plated racing shoes or training shoes.
I heard they were good.
They are good. Do not buy them for $250 though.
No.
Because they are not worth $250. Go to your local Ross, find them for $50, and buy them, and then that is worth it.
Yeah, I
That's
had
very
some
worth it.
South Carolina friends that go there, and they say they like the carbon plated shoes they sell.
Yeah, they are pretty good. I think maybe if they had actual rubber or protective rubber on the bottom instead of just no. Not rubber. That's not the. You didn't know it is rubber. They have exposed rubber, not tread. Yeah, they have no tread. They just have blown out rubber. If they had tread, then it'd probably be more worth it. But with the durability of those, not worth $250. Go buy Vaporflies. I'm a Nike shill right now. Go buy Vaporflies.
Well, did you ditch the Rocket X's or do you?
No, I still have them. They're
Which-
just
which do you
they're
like
just
the best?
chilling. Between what?
Rocket X2s, and then the Vaporflies and the Under Armours.
Oh man, what Vaporflies? No,
Let's do the current one, the 3s.
3s. Okay,
So I kind of know.
X2s, 3s, Velocity Elites.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I will die on the hill that Vaporfly 3s are probably the worst iteration of Vaporflies in that lineup of Vaporflies.
See, Andy has something. I have not ran on them that much yet. I've only ran on them a little bit, but I actually like the 3s a little bit more than the 2s because they had a little bit more of a stack height, I think. But he has way more experience running them than I
Yeah.
do.
I have the original 4% too, and I think those are
Those are OGs.
something different too.
Yeah.
And
Those
they're
are the
very
OGs.
different compared to the next percents. But yeah, I got to go on the market for scouting next percent 2s and 1s basically, just so I don't have to bear the unfortunate wearing of wearing 3s. Even though it's not that bad, it's a good shoe. I just do not prefer it.
Yeah. You could ask Coach for maybe some Alpha 5 3s.
Oh, I asked him for a pair of Super Blasts instead.
Yeah. For people that don't know, we usually get about 3 pairs of shoes
Yeah.
each semester.
Mm.
Um,
And typically it's either you get a trainer and a trainer or a carbon shoe, or a trainer and a spike, or a carbon shoe, or a trainer and a trainer. Is basically how it normally goes.
yeah, exactly. We like our shoes, and I don't know if you can
We
tell.
do.
Sorry to confuse you.
That could probably be a whole episode. Like if this tangent wasn't long enough, A topic episode about shoes could be
Yeah.
insanely long, and I would actually love to do that. So if
It'd
you
be
want a
fun.
hint, if you want a hint for some future episodes, or future episode, shoes will be on tap, or on feet if you're so inclined. All right, but anyway, tangent to the side.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell the audience about a fun fact about yourself? That is my phone going off somewhere. Oh, it's literally right here. Oh, yeah.
So a fun fact about myself, that's difficult to do when you're looking at yourself from like the outside in. But if I had to pick one thing that like surprises the most amount of people is that I really enjoy folk or country music. Like
I mean, I'm not too surprised based on,
Yeah.
I guess, what I've heard from your car, what you've played in cars that I've been in.
yeah, like
Which-
I don't know if people.
It's good taste, though. I would say it's very good taste.
I'm not gonna
It's
argue
none.
against
It's
that.
none of the stuff that I would stereotype as the bad stuff
Yeah.
or the bad country.
I also I don't know if you can tell if you're looking at the video, but me and Andy have pretty red beards. So
We are ginger. Oh yeah, Irish Junior. That is
Yeah.
the nickname.
So I'm majorly Scottish and Irish, and a little bit of Welsh. And from as far as ancestry goes, one of my favorite singers of all time, his name is David Francie, and he's a Scottish Canadian singer. So he was born in Scotland, and then moved to Canada.
Canadian.
As he immigrated there with his family, and he's a great folk singer. I think what moves me.
I haven't heard him I haven't heard you playing him. I
It's-
think
Yeah,
Tyler Childers mostly was what I heard.
he's good.
And maybe Zach Bryan too.
but
I think that's what I've heard when you've been playing country.
both of those are good because they're more folk, then they're less like twangy.
Yeah.
But David Francie's is a really good one as far as just kind of, I don't know, his lyrics just kind of move me in a different way, and that's the main thing I'm looking for is if I can't relate to the lyrics. Not always, of course. Like
Yeah.
it's hard to find that always, and sometimes it's just a good beat or
Right.
melody. But
I think that is probably out of how you would listen to music, probably the biggest factor
yeah,
of
yeah.
things
Um,
that you would seek,
yeah,
or if it's a really good.
that's
like,
probably a fun
orchestra.
fact about me. The country music or the folk music. I would consider more folk than country.
More folk in country.
Yeah, and I absolutely love coffee too.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. Americano is my go-to, if I can get it. They're kind of expensive though. And Salisbury.
Maybe not blue.
Blue's okay. You gotta admit it's
Yeah.
not. It can be kind of dark, but
Yeah. They're definitely good.
I
Later had yesterday made me a very. They have. Oh yeah, for reference, the local cafe at school is called Blue or Blue 51, but normally everyone just calls it Blue. Yeah, they have some new staff, and there's a lady that made me a mean latte. That shit was good.
Oh yeah,
That was good.
that's pretty good. That's the problem with like baristas. Like you gotta get the right one.
Yeah.
To make it the right thing.
Mhm.
I think if
Like
everyone-
they're legitimately are days where I just don't go get coffee because of
The person.
who I see that's working. Or not sometimes it's because they're bad, sometimes it's just because I haven't, like, the unknown, and sometimes it's just
yeah.
that the line is also super damn long.
I have to ask you for your go-to though.
At Blue,
Yeah.
vanilla latte.
Ooh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
I'm just such a big Americano guy, which is, if you don't know, it's espresso, shot of espresso, and then it's filled to the top of water, which seems pointless and it seems like you're paying for water and espresso,
Yeah.
which is watered down espresso, but it's more smoother than regular espresso.
Now we have a big black coffee fan club in the team,
Oh yeah.
and I think you're a strong addition to that lineup.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But
I personally, I need some time to get into it. I mean, I can have a Coke or two here and there, but not consistently.
what creamer do you add to it?
Just milk and sugar. That's about it. Sweet cream. Nothing fancy. No flavors.
Well, I'm excited. Do you have an idea in your mind about what's the next episode for you?
Oh, I was gonna say a fun fact about you. Yes, silly.
Oh, yeah,
'cause
yeah,
I
okay.
didn't say a fun fact.
I'm curious
A
now.
fun fact. Ian is probably the chirpiest guy in workouts that I've ever been in.
Yeah.
I would say, and chirpy in a good sense, not in the negative sense, like you would say, like chip on your shoulder kind of chirpy.
Yeah,
But-
I tend to talk a lot.
Like break the ice kind of tripping.
I'll tell some jokes.
Yeah. It is very tension relieving though, I would say.
Yeah, we have some long tempos sometimes. It's usually those 25, 30-minute tempos.
Mm-hmm.
We're just doing K loops around the park.
Yeah.
That we go to for that's our course.
Yeah, there will be a lot more detail about the running stuff later, but I know it sounds like a bit mysterious right now, but we'll go into that.
Yeah, I always love to talk. Sometimes it annoys some people because I'm breathing pretty well. But some people do love the jokes and the talking, and I've gotten into some discussions out there, some tempos, which is
I
fun.
remember that. Yeah, definitely. There's a difference there is a big difference between people who like that stuff and people who don't like it, which is pretty funny. I think I would only get annoyed at it at times because I'd be trying to control my breathing so much, and you'd be like, "Yo, what's up? Like doing funny stuff," and I'd be like, "Why is he so controlled and regulated right now when I'm doing my best to maintain control and regulation?"
And those workouts just felt the best. I think though, like the talking just distracts yourself from the pain.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd like to keep the talking up here mainly, but because I think when I talk for myself, it takes a lot away from my breathing or from my breathing patterns.
For those that don't know, and then you won't get the hint yet, is I do have ADHD, so when I'm just thinking with myself for a 30-minute workout, my mind goes crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going all over the place trying to think of new ideas. Some of my best ideas, though, are during a workout, though. It's just so methodic, but I do tend to...
There's a method to the madness.
There is. I do tend to talk a lot, though, and I'm a pretty social guy, though. I think I get a lot of my energy from talking to people, so that's kind of where that stems from, but I guess many people wouldn't know that about me until you did a workout with me.
Yeah.
So yeah, fun fact right there.
It's a good fun fact.
What do you want to get into next, Andy?
For the next episode, I think I have a gist of the ideas. I think it'll probably go into. I would like to go into the more recent stuff about cross country.
Yeah.
And also the differences in experience from cross country, because obviously I'm long removed from being a freshman. So going into your experience from being a freshman and being on this team versus, I guess, what I had felt being a freshman and I guess a sophomore and I guess up until now and that development and how you perceive the season, how I perceive the season, how much different a college environment is to you for someone who's fresh out of the boat in a sense from high school versus someone who's been in the system for a little bit longer.
That sounds like a fun topic.
I think because I think that can fill up a lot of time, and I think there's a lot of insight that can come out of that, and we might need to max that out.
Yeah.
But I think that would be covering the recent stuff in the sense of cross country, because there's a lot to talk about with the last cross country season, and I guess cross country as a whole, because we kind of referenced that with the funny story earlier. But talking about that is something I think I'd like to do probably next
podcast.
Next one, that would definitely be it.
I'm looking at the sheet right now with some ideas we have, and there's some exciting stuff coming.
Yeah, there definitely are.
Yeah,
and that's not even on top of the stuff that people like the guys we haven't talked to yet.
Yeah,
we haven't discussed with ideas that we haven't written down that we haven't talked about with the guys that they could add too. Yeah. On top of that,
because we have some creative guys in the team, and I'm sure they have some insights, maybe some episodes that will really be thrown out there and taking you for a surprise and a little fun joyride. You know?
Oh, definitely.
I can't wait for Bernard to get on here.
Bernard, that was a lot. Honestly, Boogie would be a really sleeper hit.
He would be good. So. Yeah. Well, it's gonna be a fun ride. I can't wait. So with that,
I suppose that'll wrap it up for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I also do have to get to class in 12 minutes. I think you do too.
I have a test, so wish me luck, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for this. The last one I did not do so well on, so let's hope this one goes a little bit better.
Everyone drop a comment saying good luck, Ian, on this test.
I need it.
And we'll give you an update at the start of the next episode.
Yeah. All right. We'll catch you
in the next rep or lap. I fucked that up a little bit, but we'll get it better. It's supposed to be in the next lap.
I always like to say it's a happy fuck up.
Yeah. There are no accidents. Just little tiny fuck up. We'll get it down.
Yeah. All right.
But it was good. All right. Catch you in the next lap.